You're watching K34QB, Vail, Colorado.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to your Saturday, July 15th edition of Good Morning Vail. I'm your host, Julio Garcia, and I'm so excited to join you this weekend with tons of great information on the show. We've got nap harvest, drinking vessels, and adventures in coaching, and tons more. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss out everything we've got planned for you this morning. Good Morning Vail starts right now.
Hi friends, and welcome to Vail Vibes. I'm Avisha Scarborough. Today we are in Minturn, a place that many refer to as the last small mountain town around, and we're going to check out their amazing makers market.
Walking along Main Street in Minturn, I took in the idyllic charm of this former railroad and mining town.
Feels like it has community, it has a small town character. We definitely get visitors and tourists, but it's not a resort.
But don't let the small town spirit fool you. Many of these artisans here are nothing short of world class, and many have worldwide impact. Tia Woven Goods, founded by Simbala Drame, has improved the lives of hundreds of women in Ghana by employing them to weave these baskets. Cedric Bolton is her nephew, and he helps his aunt at several farmers markets a week.
Our mission is to empower these women to stand on their own 2 feet, to feel like they can support their families, to empower them to move forward and feel like they're thriving members in society.
Sunstone Jewelry and Knits also empowers women.
They're made by single mothers in Kenya so that they can be employed and provide for their families.
And Palden Hester, who's originally from Tibet, has a family-run business. This is her mom, who she said started making jewelry while exiled in Nepal. When coming to the U.S., Palden says she saw many similarities between Tibetan and Native American jewelry.
I thought Tibet is only one who wears a lot of turquoise and coral, but then I saw a lot of Native people wearing jewelry too, same colors.
With so many inspiring handmade items, customers said they love shopping here.
That bracelet.
Because it makes an impact.
It is, yeah, so they're real fruit.
Some of these products were made with imagination.
Straight into the flame.
Some were made with skill and courage. And others were made in loving memory of a dear friend.
He was such a cool kid, and his mom just came and spent 2 days with me.
What makes these items truly one of a kind are the people behind them. And soon, there will be a lot more to look forward to.
Starting next week, we have about double the size of vendors, and we'll extend all the way down in this same general area, but we'll extend further down, and we'll have a food court with food trucks and lots of food vendors. And we're also adding a kids zone this year, which will have tons of kids activities. We're going to have a bounce house, a mechanical bull, face painting, and a build your own stuffed animal station, and we'll have the climbing wall back from Eagle Climbing and Fitness. And we're also doing some kids story times this year too.
The Minturn Farmers Market will be held every Saturday morning in downtown Minturn until September 2nd. For TV8 Vail, I'm Avisha Scarborough.
Good morning, Vail.
Here at Sun and Ski Sports, we are all about having the best summer adventures. Our full-service bike shop is here to help you get back on the saddle with services ranging from simple tire changes, full bike overhauls, and rentals. If trail running, hiking, or trips to the lake are your thing, our expert staff will fit you in the best performing footwear or clothing. And don't forget about a relaxing day on the water with our stand-up paddleboard rentals. Call Sun and Ski Sports in Avon or Dillon today, or learn more at sunandski.com/co.
Hi, it's Julio from TV8 Vail. Do you ever wonder why our tagline is "There's more for you on 92"? Because we're always bringing you more. More Good Morning Vail from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. all year long. More local coverage with Vail Vibes and Covered Bridge on TV8. More opportunities to participate with new roundtable panels on mountain perspectives and our new Spanish programming block coming this fall. Find us on Comcast Xfinity Channel 92, on YouTube, or our website at tv8vail.com.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. Earlier, Kimberly Perot had the opportunity to chat with PBS about their new short film series. Let's take a look.
Now, welcome back to our show. We love the arts and we love seeing all of the inclusion and diversity. And talking about love, PBS does a wonderful job of that with their short film festival that happens every year. We've got the PBS Director of Engagement, Taryn, joining us today to talk all about this year's theme. Taryn, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing well, Kimberly. How are you?
I am doing so well. I love that you speak with us every year in regard to this festival. So tell us a bit about this year's theme and how many films we can see in the festival.
Yeah, so this year's theme is Stories in Bloom. We're so excited to present this year's theme. It's all about planting seeds of inspiration for future filmmakers and champion the growing and changing narratives that blossom for participants each year. It's also a nod to the fact that we are in year 12 of the PBS Short Film Festival. So Stories in Bloom, it's a nod to our growth, as well. So we're super excited. We have 24 films in this year's film festival. They span across 6 different categories. We have identity, environment, society, culture, family, and inspiration. So those are our categories this year, and we're super excited to present films and that run the gambit, right? There's some that are super light and fun and, you know, really silly, and then there are ones that are really heavy and tackle some really difficult and tough issues. But though they are all incredibly well done, and there's something for everyone.
I think with those 24 films and all of the categories that you just listed, it basically covers absolutely everything that anybody would want to view. So talk to me about the films. You know, how are they selected? What goes into the selection process? Who decides on which films get to be part of the festival?
Yes, so typically our filmmakers, they reach out to their local PBS station, are one of the presenting partners that we work with in public media, and that's their first entry in. They submit their films that way. Then we receive the films in PBS headquarters from local PBS stations and our presenting partners. And then we get anywhere every year, like between 100 to 120 films. And then we use about a month. There's about 8 or 9 of my amazing colleagues here at PBS that help me screen these films every year. You know, they love filmmaking. They're dedicated to, you know, the public media aspect of this. And so they come alongside me to screen these films, and then we use rating and score sheets, and we have a meeting. I tell people sometimes that meeting, some years it lasts 30 minutes, other years it can go for 3 hours, you know, because we are dedicated to making sure that we highlight the best of the best. So from those meetings, we get all the way down to our 20 to 25 films that are presented each year. And then we are very organic about the categories, because we don't do the categories first and try to make sure the films fit in. We do it the other way. We get the films that we want to highlight the best of the best, and then we put them in the categories where it makes sense. So we're super excited to continue on that path of, you know, authenticity.
I love that organic selection process, and to know that the films that are coming in, you get an unbiased lens through watching all of them and then deciding where they go, versus saying we have to have XYZ for this category and whatnot. Now, this is a digital film festival, so it's online and viewers can view all of the films selected, but it's also a competition. So tell me a bit about the competition and what that entails.
Yes, so so the film festival runs, from July 10th through July 21st. That's the run of the film festival this year. But I say it that way because you can watch a lot of the films well past the end of the official run of the film festival. A lot of times they'll be streaming on our platforms for at least a year, sometimes even maybe 2 years. But on July 24th of this year, we will announce our juried prize winner. So our jury is comprised of people who are well respected in the independent filmmaking space as well as public media. There are 6 jurors. If you go to pbs.org/film festival, you can learn more about our jurors. They are all on the site with their bios. Some of them may be familiar to you, especially if you're really heavy into independent films. So that is the competition aspect of the film festival. They watch all of the films, they deliberate, and they come up with their jury prize winner. And we're going to be excited to announce the winner of this year's jury prize on July 24th.
So for all of the viewers out there, they can hop on and watch all of the films without knowing who is the winner beforehand. So that's just a really exciting element to the festival. Now, in regard to the juried members, like, how do you select them? Are they recurring every year? Do new people get to come in and be part of that as well?
That's a great question. So I try my best to have the same jury from year after year. Not that I don't want more people to join, because that is always a wonderful option. I love to have more people join the jury, but if I can get some of the same jury members from year to year, I think that that process, it makes things a lot smoother. Their lens into the film festival and how it runs is just, I don't know, it's something that's unmatched. And so they are, the selection process, I wanted to be very intentional about the jury. I wanted to make sure that the jury was diverse. I wanted to make sure that the jury reflected, different parts of our country, different parts of the world, different cultures. That was very important to me because it's, this film festival is for everyone. And I always tell everyone, if you don't see yourself or someone you love in at least one of the films in the festival, then I didn't do my job. And that's also the same with the jury, because if public media is to provide that mirror back, to what the world and what society and what, the country is about, then the film festival has to do the same thing. So we pride ourselves on making sure that that is the way that the jury is handled, as well as our screeners. Every part of this is about inclusivity, accessibility, and about powerful storytelling.
I think that's the most important piece, is that it's independent filmmakers, so anybody can make a film, try their hand at it, and give a submission for this festival. And I think it's just a wonderful thing to aspire to do, especially if you're passionate about the media and about the arts and about just really spreading storytelling and messaging. So Taryn, we really appreciate you coming on and telling us all about this year's film festival. One more time, where can we go for more information and to screen all of the films selected?
Yes, well, you can screen all the films at pbs.org/film festival. There's also a blog, a Q&A blog there, a viewing party kit if you want to watch and host a party with your family and friends. But they're also available on the PBS app, on the PBS Short Film Festival Facebook page, the PBS YouTube channel as well. So lots of places to screen these films.
I love it, a PBS app. Get on there and check out the films. Taryn, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming on the show today. Well, take care and best of luck picking that winner.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now stay tuned. We will be right back after this break. Lots happening here on today's show.
Hello everyone, I'd like to welcome you into Rugs Benedict to come explore our 12,000 square foot showroom. We've been serving the Vail Valley for over 50 years now with flooring needs, and we inventory a ton of product from Carpet One to provide the very best values, highest style. We just built a warehouse, 15,000 square foot warehouse in gypsum. So we have over 120 different broadloom carpets. We have a lot of waterproof wood flooring, things that we can install right away. We have employee installers, a lifetime installation warranty. Many of them have been with us for decades, and they're true craftsmen in their work. They're absolutely extraordinary at installing any of the flooring that we provide. We also have over 1,000 area rugs in stock right now, and they start at 2x3s. I could bring these into the studio today, but they go all the way up to 12x16s, and we have them hanging on the racks just like shopping for clothing. So it's very easy for you to just flip through, see what's available. We'll deliver them to your house so you can check out how they look in your space with your lighting. All different sizes, all different shapes, some things that are going to be a little bit more contemporary as well as tribal, traditional, all the latest and greatest looks. We have things that are hand knotted, silk, woolen silk options, all the way down to some machine made indoor outdoor type rugs. So really anything that you're looking for your business, for your home, for a rental, Rugs Benedict can provide it. And one thing I consistently hear when people leave our showroom is, that was so easy, thank you so much. So we make the process very easy. Come in, take a look, and we'd love to offer you a free estimate. Look forward to seeing you in our showroom.
Nap Harvest, your local marketplace for fresh, locally produced products. Our indoor farmers market is open 7 days a week, featuring locally grown organic produce, prepared meals, honey from our Nap Nectar hive, furniture, cutting boards, and much more. We source and sell locally grown and produced products from the Vail and Roaring Fork Valleys. Visit us at our new location in Eagle Ranch, 717 Sylvan Lake Road, next door to Color Coffee Roasters.
Time to rise and shine? There's no better way to start your day off than with the Good Morning Vail crew. You asked for more and TV8 delivered. Good Morning Vail is here for you with your local news, sports, weather, and community events every morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. No matter the season, we give you a reason to watch, so grab your coffee and join the fun. Live stream us at tv8vail.com or on Comcast Xfinity Channel 92. And remember, there's more for you on 92.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Ben Roof chatted with Adventures in Coaching earlier to talk about team coaching. So let's take a look at that interview.
We are now joined by Kim Smith for Adventures in Coaching, who's got some fantastic advice for us about our careers. Welcome to the show, Kim.
Thanks so much, Ben. It's great to be here.
Well, it's great to have you. So we've been talking a lot about finding purpose and really kind of orienting ourselves in our careers, but we're changing gears now to talk a little bit more about groups and teams and kind of how to coach as a group. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, great. Yes, and we have been talking a lot about the individuals and purpose and change and all of that, but I also do a lot of coaching with businesses and teams. And I wanted to talk a little bit about, initially what the difference is between a group and a team. And while I do a lot of group coaching can often be around topics, but you're really working on yourself as an individual. Whereas when I coach a team, it's a team that has come together to work collectively on a bigger purpose, to kind of work on, what they can do, how it would be more powerful for them to work as a team versus individuals.
So instead of like a collaborative coaching session where you've got multiple people there kind of working on their own things a little bit as a group, you're focusing more on the teamwork dynamics specifically.
Exactly, and not every group can become a team. A team is really there for a specific purpose. So say, for example, you're in an organization and you suddenly have a competitor, rise up in the market, or there's something that you need to look at internally. But it's there, you have a specific purpose, and it can be multifunctional people. You can have interdepartmental people, you can have an executive team, but it's really a team that's set up for a collective purpose.
That totally makes sense. So how does a team coaching session then differ from a group coaching session? Are there specific differences with the way you approach things?
Yeah, well, I'll focus more on the team part of it because when I have a team, we sit there and initially, I'm there as a coach to kind of figure out from an unbiased standpoint, what is it that the team is wanting to do? What does the team need to accomplish? What is the team's job and why? We'll also go through a series of steps like, who are the stakeholders? And your stakeholder can be, your customer. It can be an internal leadership team. It could be society as a whole. It just really depends on the team. But considering what the stakeholder needs is very, very important in a team coaching environment.
So how do you go about identifying the stakeholders' needs there? Is there a specific process that you go through, a
Yeah,
checklist?
That's a great question. Well, I think it's really a matter of either you talk to the stakeholder directly and you can bring them in. I also, forgot to mention sometimes a board is a very big stakeholder. So you could have that stakeholder come in and say, hey, from your team, from your organization, what I need is this. But often we don't have access to that, or maybe we don't have time for a lot of focus groups or something like that. So I just simply say, bring a chair and put it in the room and put the stakeholder's name on that chair. And we can imagine and kind of, creatively brainstorm what that stakeholder needs.
Totally makes sense. So once you've kind of identified those stakeholders' needs with the team, then how do you and the team then kind of work towards orienting yourselves to those goals?
So yeah, that is a great question. So we want to figure out what is it that they need? What is it that we're trying to do? Is it, speed to market? Are we trying to develop a new product? Are we trying to be innovative? It depends on the team and what it is that you need to do. So we look at those things and set those goals up and make sure that we have timelines and everybody has a specific role within that team where we're all accountable for that. And a coach will help to hold that team accountable. And the other thing that really comes up a lot in teams are team dynamics, right? We all bring ourselves to work every day. And like I've been talking about in previous sessions, limiting beliefs can hold us back from being successful. And that can also really derail a team as well. So, when I notice that that's going on, I might do some individual one-on-one coaching, but also just really try to figure out, what is everybody's strengths and what are they bringing to the table so that we can all be on the same page and not in a competitive situation with each other.
That seems pretty obvious there. Clearly, if the team isn't gelling together as individuals, it seems like that can be a huge challenge. Are there any other major challenges that you think teams commonly face beyond just the interpersonal cohesion of the team?
Oh, absolutely. I think goals and having measurable goals and KPIs, which is an acronym for key performance indicators. It's important that we highlight and outline what those are and what those mean so that we can do that checks and balances and look back to say hey, are we meeting our goal of X? And are we, meeting our goal of Y? And looking at, if so, great, how do we keep doing that? And if not, what do we need to reassess? And also having that, those measurements be time bound, so that we don't just have this, never ending timeline. Like if we need to know in 30 days how something is doing, let's check back. What is our bigger goal? Are we a team for a year putting this project together? But it really depends on, what those goals are, but measure. That's, that's a big one.
Well, and it seems to me that as you start to develop those timelines and create a system that allows individual members of the team to evaluate their own progress and see where they fall in the team's progress, seems to me like that's a key component to functioning well as a group or as a team.
Yes, absolutely. And as a coach, I think it's really important to check in with everybody. We can always revise something if something's not working, if maybe there's some personality or dynamics that aren't working. Taking a step back and just because we said that the goal and the purpose is this at the very beginning doesn't mean that we can't have flexibility to change and pivot a little bit as we gain more information.
So if we've got those interpersonal issues more or less worked out, and we've got strong deliverables and a timeline set up with that evaluation system in place, are there any other major hurdles that you would expect a team to encounter?
I think it's just like every day in life, right? Things come up and things that we can't anticipate. It's great if we do like a SWOT analysis. I don't know if you've heard about what that is, but it's an analysis that we look at the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats from both inside the company and outside the company. And we can't always anticipate those, but when those come up, like, do we have the agility and the flexibility to pivot and to shift and to quickly determine what we need to do to address that problem?
Well, and I would imagine that through that process, you really help coach the team to be ready for and have a little bit of preparation in mind for those challenges that might unexpectedly arise. What do you recommend for teams to kind of help them prepare for the unexpected?
Well, I think that it's really about, be prepared for the unexpected. You cannot, anticipate everything, but to be flexible. And a lot of times in businesses, we get very sort of stuck in what we do with our processes. But if we're in a team that has the idea and the purpose of being flexible and agile and all of that, we can quickly shift and find out, do we need different resources? Do we need different people on the team? What do we need to do to make those adjustments?
Yeah, awesome. It seems super, super helpful. If my team or somebody else who is watching's team needed some help from you, where could they find some more information?
Yeah, great question. Go to my website, adventuresincoaching.com, and I have a page specifically dedicated to team coaching.
Oh, perfect. Well, Kim Smith, thank you so much for joining us, and we will be right back after some short messages.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome to the TVA Viewers' Choice Awards, where we celebrate the videos that got the most views from viewers like you. I'm Max Turner. Let's see who's taking home the prizes for the month of May. Taking home the bronze is Good Morning Vail's May 4th edition, featuring important updates from the scoreboard and the town of Avon. The silver award goes to Good Morning Vail on May 18th, featuring recruiter guy Bill Humbert. The gold goes to May 22nd edition of Good Morning Vail, featuring the best of CC Zach and Glitz and Glam. The Platinum Award goes to Good Morning Vail's featuring Ride Your Bike to School Day with Mark Sassy on location. And clinching the #1 spot and taking home the Diamond Award is Good Morning Vail's May 2nd edition, featuring Claire Noble in the Eagle Valley Animal Shelter. If you missed any of these trending videos, make sure to migrate over to our YouTube page and check out the playlist for the winners of the month of May. I'm Max Turner, and I'll see you next time.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
Vail Skin and Lashes, located in the heart of Avon, offers a full array of aesthetic and medical treatments and services. We feature only the highest quality products in an upscale medical-grade skincare boutique. Experience this luxurious, welcoming, and inviting environment. We are dedicated to providing expert personalized care, artistry, wellness, beauty. That's Vail Skin and Lashes Medical Spa.
Join us on the Leadville Railroad. This fun-filled train ride takes you and your family on an unforgettable trip through the heart of the Rockies for a half-day trip of adventure, relaxation, and sightseeing. Enjoy the spectacular Colorado scenery. Even meet the engineer. Book your adventure on the Leadville Railroad today at leadvillerailroad.com.
Good morning, Vail. My temperature rising.
This weather report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
Welcome back, everyone. We're in the midst of summer and we've got tons of great local product here in our area. Ben Roof talked with Knapp Harvest about their indoors farmers market. You don't want to miss out, so let's take a look what they had to say.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. We're joined now by Carrie Hogan of Knapp Harvest. Welcome to the show, Carrie.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So you guys have a lot going on over there between the Knapp Harvest, Knapp Garden Center, and Knapp Ranch. Tell us a little bit about what you got going on this month.
Well, you know, it's kind of all about the bees right now. You know, they're out there with all that rain that we had early on in the spring and summer. There's lots of nectar out there. So observing our hives, they're very busy. We're already pulling in honey. And they're just frantically, it's what it looks like. You know, when I'm looking at the front of my hives, they are just out there collecting as fast as they can to get it into the hives. And so it's really, you know, we manage over 32 hives up and down the valley, and we appreciate what people do around here to help with the bees. You know, planting native and pollinator flowers is really important to our bees. And not just the honeybees, but our native bees, over 1,000 native bees in Colorado. And they are specialized. So some bees are only will go to certain flowers, and they have the tongue that's long enough to go in and be the one to pollinate. So there's specialty. There's ones that do just the blue sage. There's some that just do squash blossom. So when we don't provide native plants for those specialized bees, they disappear. And what happens is your garden doesn't look as good. The flowers aren't being pollinated. And again, we always encourage natural solutions to your garden. Compost tea, Ground Up, is one of the best companies we have up here in Eagle. I really saw an improvement in my garden when I used compost tea last year. So when you bring in compost teas, you also add microbes and nutrients to the soil, as well as beneficial bugs. Everybody thinks bugs are bad. There's a lot of benefits to having those bugs, and a lot of them are pollinators as well. So if you don't understand what's going on in your garden, then you're going to maybe eradicate something that you don't need to. For instance, a neighbor of mine was trying to get rid of the ants on her peonies. Well, ants are what opens the peonies up. Without the ants, the peonies don't bloom. So, you know, without trying to be as careful in nature and respecting what's already there is really your best way to do it. And, you know, by supplementing with beautiful native plants, you're really, really helping, and we appreciate that. We don't appreciate Roundup, insecticides, poison, why you would poison your, you know, lawn, kids, pets, yourself. I mean, Monsanto's paying out a lot of money for Roundup causing cancer. So you really got to think about what you're doing and what's the purpose. Really getting rid of a little yellow flowers worth your health? I don't think so. And it's the very first food for the bees. So.
Well, and those little yellow flowers, as much as like it's so much the kind of common conception, I'll say, that, you know, they're bad. Right. Like having dandelions in your yard is a blight. It's a hugely negative thing, but it really does impact your gardens too. Like the more dandelions that are out and around, even in just your native grasses in your yard, that can really help bring those bees in. And I know that, like, for a lot of plants, especially some of the prettier or fruiting plants, they need to have pollinators bringing in pollen from another plant in the same species. And if that's not happening, you won't get that fruiting.
You are so right.
My mom's had an apricot tree planted in her backyard in Eagle for 15 years. Fruited this summer because a neighbor planted an apricot tree. We don't know who it is yet, but somebody planted an apricot tree, and now there's apricots.
That is very, very important. I have a permaculture orchard on my property down in Gypsum, and yes, you have to be careful when you're picking out your fruit that you know, either get a self-fruiter, which will pollinate with one, or you have to be careful. And some don't cross. You can't just plant 2 cherries and 2 apples and expect them. Some of those don't cross. So a lot of times, you know, at Knapp Garden Center, we've got a lot of really good help. You really need to think about what you're doing when you're planting, and especially if you're trying to add value to your home with your landscape, really plan it out. Think about that. You know, you know, we've got beautiful shrubs and trees. You know, you want to start with some interest in levels, but what that also does is bring in the animals, the birds, the bugs that you need. So sometimes by leaving a path of weeds, what you consider weeds, next to your garden helps. They'll go to the weeds, not to your garden. So the more you know, the better your garden's going to look, the more you're going to attract pollinators. And at Knapp Garden Center, we've got really great, knowledgeable people to help you with that. Companion planting. You know, the 3 sisters when you're doing vegetables. The 3 sisters being the corn, the beans, and the squash. That's meant to be, it comes from the indigenous people learning a long time ago that one adds nitrogen to the other adds potassium, and that makes them grow really well. So it's a lot of that kind of thing when you're very careful. All of a sudden your garden is elevated to, you know, your neighbors are like, what did you do? Well, almost nothing. You know, I didn't do anything. I added compost tea, I encouraged bees and bugs. So, you know, we've got soil amendments down at Knapp Garden Center, to organic, soil peps and things like that to help supplement your garden as well. So again, you know, this is a great time of year to be planting. It's great to be outside and, you know, take advantage of that.
So while we're on the subject of plants and kind of managing the plants in our yard a little bit, let me ask you this. We definitely have a little bit of an issue in the Vail Valley with some noxious weeds. We definitely have some invasive species that are really cropping up in a lot of properties, and the county has a mandate to get rid of them, and a lot of towns do as well. How would you recommend people who aren't interested in using some of those more aggressive pesticides like Roundup or anything, how would you suggest they tackle some of those more noxious weeds?
Well, some of them are going to be more specific. You know, like if you get those great big thistles with the flowers on top, the best thing to do is to just cut them off at the flower so they don't procreate again. If you start digging up thistle, they are connected under the ground, and what you do is actually, you know, they grow better. You know, I could tell you know. And so, you know, there's a lot of good things you can do. You know, boiling hot water, vinegar, little dash of Dawn soap, and you keep, and salt. You keep after it. I think on our website we've got a pesticide free alternatives, but if not, call us at Knapp Garden Center. Again, a lot of times when you feed your soil and create from dirt, you create soil, that takes care of a lot of those noxious weeds. So, and calcium so dandelions are showing you that calcium is needed in your lawn or wherever those dandelions are. So sometimes weeds are only what you perceive as weeds. You don't want them in that area. So there's a lot of ways to battle that without doing insecticides, and I promise you do insecticides or pesticides, it makes the other plants around them weaker, and they're not going to be able to survive. So if you think you're saving your plants, you're really not. You're introducing poison into your environment, and I just don't see how that can work.
And you're robbing the soil of a lot of nutrients.
Correct.
And that's what allows a lot of those weeds to propagate, is because they're so hardy, they can survive in nutrient deficient soil.
Very true.
Where what we're trying to cultivate really can't.
Yeah, and again, there's a group that's worldwide called ARC. It's Acts of Restorative Kindness. And if you take a portion of your garden or your lawn or whatever, let it go, just take a portion of it and watch it. The first year, yes, you will get some of the local weeds. What they're doing, though, is replenishing your soil. That's the reason they're there. So in a couple of years, you have a whole different look. So and again, it protects all the birds and the bunnies and all those things underneath. You know, if everything's manicured and has mulch on it, it's all beautiful, perfect looking. It's not perfect looking to nature at all. Yeah. So, you know, it's a mindset, and I'm hoping that, you know, as people are growing up, that they understand a little more. I think there's a little more attention to the environment than there has been previously.
Well, I think that's a great note to end things on, a way that we can kind of try and take a step back to really reclaim some of our soil. Carrie Hogan from Knapp Harvest, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Don't forget to check out Knapp Ranch and Knapp Garden Center as well, all located up in Eagle. We'll be back after a short break.
Good morning, Vail.
It's that time where we're talking Sun and Ski Sports Product of the Week. Now, if you're making your way out to do any water activities, it's important that you have the right protection with you, and especially since our water levels are so high from all of that precipitation that we saw over the course of the winter and now that snow runoff. So right now, I've got the Onyx Move Vent Life Vest in front of me. This vest has some great features to it, one of which being soft, lightweight foam flotation. Now, if you are looking for this in your kayaks or in your canoes and you want that nice mesh back, well, then it has that feature, making it more comfortable for you to sit anywhere where there's a high back and you need to be nice and safe out there. Now, as you're making your way out into the water, there is a built-in whistle so that if you need to be heard, you can make yourself heard with this lovely whistle. There's also some nice reflection pieces, making it easy for you to be seen as you're out there, and especially if you're doing it first thing in the morning or later into the afternoon when you're out there on the rivers or on the lakes. So make sure that you stop by Sun and Ski Sports and you check out all of their great inventory for these nice pieces that are going to keep you safe out there on the waters. Now, you can always go to their website at sunandski.com for some more information or for some more fabulous products that'll keep you safe out there on the water.
Knapp Harvest, your local marketplace for fresh, locally produced products. Our indoor farmers market is open 7 days a week, featuring locally grown organic produce, prepared meals, honey from our Knapp Nectar Hive, furniture, cutting boards, and much more. We source and sell locally grown and produced products from the Vail and Roaring Fork Valleys. Visit us at our new location in Eagle Ranch, 717 Sylvan Lake Road, next door to Color Coffee Roasters.
Snooki and Scott show. We are feeling good today. Great show on the way.
Absolutely. Welcome to our show. I'm Suki.
I'm Scott.
And we are feeling good today. You know why? Because we had a great show.
Join us in exploring the everyday lives of community members here in the Vail Valley. Hear their inspiring stories of how they came here, their contributions to our community, and why they chose to call this place home. We want you to be one of our neighbors. If you would like to be featured or nominate someone to be featured, please send an email to danielle@tv8vail.com. We look forward to featuring your story right here on TV8.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail, everyone. Earlier this week, Gretchen had the opportunity to talk with the guys of Drinking Vessels and a very special event they're hosting today. You don't want to miss it out, so let's take a look.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. I am so excited. I feel like I have the coolest band. The band is back together. No, they're not really a band. Drinking Vessels, everyone around town knows you, Ben. Ben Belgrad, as well as I have Ian Silverman and Stanton Morris. You guys are here to talk about all things glass blowing. How are you guys doing this morning?
Doing well. Beautiful Vail morning.
It is a beautiful Vail morning. And I know, Ben, I've known you for a minute now.
Yeah.
I feel like you're kind of the mayor of Vail. Everyone around town knows you and loves you. Ben, tell us what you're getting into with your Drinking Vessels and all things glass blowing.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us,
Of
Gretchen.
course, we love you.
We have the studio over in Minturn. We've been here for about 6 years, blowing glass and creating all different kinds of art with artists from around the country. And on Saturday, this weekend, is probably our 6th annual Vail Cup Collectors Club.
Cool.
We're doing the Mug Mania show this summer, which will have about 10 or 12 artists around the country coming out, making handmade mugs to share with all of our collectors in the community.
That is so awesome, and I love that you are very local vibes, and I know that you really love having that local community. But
Absolutely.
we were talking off camera, my new friend over here, and we were both saying how you are very integrated with the whole, I mean, you get people from all over the country and all over the world, and I think that's really awesome. How did you get, I don't know the background story, how did you get into glass blowing? Like how, did you find a passion for it?
When I was in college, I met some artists and started apprenticing under them, kind of separate or on the side of my college curriculum.
Cool.
And then over the years, I trained under a few different artists. I made production for a few different companies and met artists like these guys around the country who I've now kind of created a marketplace to be able to represent and to be able to showcase their work.
Do you guys feel, just the three of you, obviously you have this love for blowing glass. Is it a different vibe, a type of person that it attracts?
Like the collectors or the artists?
Both.
Yeah.
Good, I like it. You should be the interviewer. I like that question.
Yeah, I think people into glass just really appreciate like the art and the detail of what we do, and that's pretty neat.
How long have you been blowing glass for?
I've been working in Boro, which is this type of glass, for about 10 years.
10 years. That's did you do that?
No, I didn't do this one.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it with coffee ready to go.
Yeah. I just wanted to have a mug.
I love it.
That's what we're doing this week.
And you've been in the whole game for a long time, correct?
I started blowing glass in 1996. I went to the Penland School of Arts in North Carolina and graduated there. From that point, my career just kind of took me down the glass path. It was wonderful. You know, I've been so many places. Done some, blacksmithing became a part of it, so integrating glass and steel together was a big part of my studio for a long, long time. And now I'm back to kind of just full-time glass, you know, dabbling a little bit here and there. But Ben's really like, you know, kind of awakening in me after so many years. You know, it's like you do it for so long. And it never stops being fun. It never stops being exciting or something new. You know, if you kind of by yourself, you don't really have a chance to expand or collaborate.
Right, yeah.
And Ben is really kind of bringing that out in me in a big, big way, and like being able to work together and with him. It's a very exciting time in my career for my life right now. So
that's really
having a lot of fun with it and enjoying.
What can we look forward to on Saturday? What will it look like?
Yeah, so starting at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we're going to have live painting. We have a local artist named Gus.
Okay.
And another girl who's between Denver and I think Costa Rica named Kaylee.
Oh, awesome.
She'll be up here painting.
Yeah.
Ian got in last night. We've got a friend Henry, the Wisco kid, coming in this afternoon, and artists are just arriving all throughout the weekend. We'll be having live collaborations and demonstrations. We have a bunch of food from Kirby Cosmos and Rocky Mountain Tacos. It's going to be a great afternoon.
I already love you guys, but I'm like, I want to go. That sounds really cool, very
expect
artistic.
to see you there, so.
Now I'm going to get, I know, I will be there. Ian, where are you from originally? Or where
I'm
are you
from
living?
Austin. I just came up from Texas.
Dope. What do you think about Vail? So far?
I love Vail. This is like probably the 5th show I've done with Ben.
Neat.
And it's a fun time to just come up and collaborate with a bunch of people.
I've never thought about this before, and sorry if it's kind of, there's no silly questions, right?
That's fine.
But when you're blowing glass at a different altitude, does that make a difference from Austin, Texas?
It does right now because Austin's just too hot to work.
Good answer. I like that.
Yeah, he's getting out of the 110 degree heat to come
So
up
when
here.
I'm complaining about this, you're like, really,
this is
lady?
chill.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, celebrate this.
That's awesome. What is your, all of you guys, do you have, this might be a loaded question, one piece of artwork that you've created, one piece of glass that really is a moment for you or sticks out in your memory? I don't know, maybe your first or your best, or I know that's hard, right?
Yeah, it's really hard to put a tag on that because as all of us would tell you, I've still yet to create a masterpiece or my masterpiece. You know, that is still in the works to come in the future.
Yeah.
Every task is always an adventure.
I love that.
It would be hard. There definitely is some pieces that we could all account and say that was special to us that we made, whether it was a collaboration. Mine would be, I did a tree vessel holding the bowl with Robert Mickelson.
Oh, wow.
And was a very famous glass artist. And that was a very special one to me. Really cool. I would love to have kept it in my home. I went for sale. But that would be one that stuck out. But they're all very special.
Yeah.
Each piece when you're done. It's kind of hard to put that label saying that this is the best one I've ever done because I know there's better ones to come.
Right, and it's like
time.
your children, I believe, right?
Yeah,
you're giving birth to this beautiful moment.
Yeah,
you get to be like, oh.
It's kind of like when you crack that kiln open in the morning after you work all day, put it in the kiln. I always think of it as like Christmas morning the next day when I crack it open. There's like all kinds of brand new toys in there for us to see. So
I say the same thing.
Yeah,
really? Okay, right on.
It's part of the passion of blowing glass. It's one of the things that we all share together, it's as a glass community. I don't think there would be a glass blower tell you any different.
Any differently. I love that. I love that answer. That was great. Do you feel the same, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I really, a lot of my work is collaborative work. So I have some of my own solo work that's out there in the world, but mostly I'm putting out collaborative works.
Right.
And I really enjoy bringing these artists out to Colorado, to Vail, to work in my studio, to create one-of-a-kind pieces only made through the experience of us being together.
Cool.
I also travel to other people's studios around the country. I've stayed with Ian in Austin on a number of occasions to create works down there. We produced a show there last October, so I think I spent almost a week working in your studio and staying down with you and Jeff. So that's really where I thrive.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, and I love that because I can obviously feel the passion, and it's such a family-oriented. You can feel the energy and you can feel the passion and the love, and I definitely want to talk to you guys more. Unfortunately, we're getting to that time, but I would love to say this Saturday. And Ben, where should everyone go to see this awesome event?
Yeah, so the event will be at my studio at Bat Country Studios in Minturn over at 1040 Main Street. We're in the Jerry Sibley Plumbing Building, kind of in the garage units over there.
Awesome.
And it'll be pretty hard to miss. The whole parking lot's going to be full of artists and vendors and performers.
I love it. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I promise I am going to be there, and I hope everyone else comes. And keep it right here. We have more Good Morning Vail on this Wellness Wednesday.
Good morning, Vail.
Bienvenidos a lo mejor de la semana, yo soy Julio García y te estaré compartiendo los mejores eventos y actividades para disfrutar en familia todo el verano. Comenzamos este lunes 10 de julio de una manera súper relajante, ya que Luz Violeta nos está ofreciendo clases gratuitas de meditación en español en la biblioteca de Eagle de 7 a 7:45 de la tarde. Este martes 11 de julio, el Colorado Snow Sports Museum está ofreciendo un tour sobre la historia de Vail a partir de las 11 de la mañana. Es en inglés, pero aún puede ser una manera divertida de aprender un poquito más sobre la historia de Vail, con un costo de $10 por persona, pero los niños entran gratis. Este miércoles 12 de julio, Chasing Rabbits nos estará presentando la película Top Gun Maverick al aire libre en la Plaza del Solaris a partir de las 8 de la noche, con un costo de $10 para rentar tus audífonos y disfrutar de esta increíble película. Y regresamos a las meditaciones este jueves, pero esta vez en la biblioteca de Avon, igual de 7 a 7:45 de la tarde. Y si prefieres la meditación en inglés, pues Luz Violeta también ofrece clases de meditación en inglés los mismos días, en los mismos lugares, pero a las 6 de la tarde, un poquito más temprano para aquellos que prefieran disfrutar de una meditación en inglés. Este viernes 14 de julio, otra película al aire libre aquí en el lago Nottingham de Avon. A partir de las 8:15 de la noche se estará mostrando la película The Parent Trap, completamente gratis. Traigan sus cobijas, sillas, snacks y que no falten las palomitas para disfrutar de un increíble atardecer y de una película en familia. Y de jueves a sábado se estarán llevando a cabo los Gypsum Days en Gypsum, donde habrá actividades para toda la familia. Específicamente el sábado 15 de julio arrancan las actividades desde las 7 de la mañana hasta las 10 de la noche. Habrá show de autos, desfile, vendedores, comida, área de juegos y un concierto, así que no te puedes perder de este grandioso evento en Gypsum. Y para concluir la semana, este domingo 16 de julio, el Festival de Vail Jazz nos ofrecerá un concierto gratuito en la Plaza del Solaris en Vail de 5 a 7 de la tarde, donde se presentará Gabriel Santiago, un guitarrista brasileño con ritmos increíbles y música espectacular. Y bueno, familia, ahí lo tienen. No se pierdan de todas las increíbles actividades que están sucediendo a lo largo y ancho de nuestro valle. Todos los días hay algo que hacer y como siempre yo los veré aquí en la próxima edición. Yo soy Julio García y esto fue lo mejor de la semana.
When you're in Vail, you're in vacation mode, and you need a flexible home tour experience that fits into your schedule. We've transformed how you view and buy homes in the Vail Valley. With immersive, cutting-edge technology, you can explore properties 10 times faster. In our lounge, we guide you through this digital world on a 16-foot screen where you can imagine your next home in comparison to your favorite recreational spots. Say goodbye to multi-day home tours and hello to a quick stop between your other plans. That's the power of the immersion theater.
Join us on the Leadville Railroad. This fun-filled train ride takes you and your family on an unforgettable trip through the heart of the Rockies for a half-day trip of adventure, relaxation, and sightseeing. Enjoy the spectacular Colorado scenery. Even meet the engineer. Book your adventure on the Leadville Railroad today at leadvillerailroad.com.
If you haven't seen Good Day Vail lately, here's what you've been missing. I'm Cece Zach, and I'm the host of Good Day Vail, and you can find us on Comcast Xfinity Channel 92 or on our website at tva8vail.com and on YouTube. We're here to serve the Vail Valley, and we look forward to sharing our story with all of you.
Welcome back to your second hour of Good Morning Vail. I'm your host, Julio Garcia, and we're continuing with the great information here on Good Morning Vail. We've got great interviews with Avija Scarborough, who's hosting our new segment, Vail Vibes, here on TV8, Covered Bridge Magazine, and Goldberg Law. Tons of great information coming up on the second hour of Good Morning Vail.
This weather report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
Nap Harvest, your local marketplace for fresh, locally produced products. Our indoor farmers market is open 7 days a week, featuring locally grown organic produce, prepared meals, honey from our Nap Nectar hive, furniture, cutting boards, and much more. We source and sell locally grown and produced products from the Vail and Roaring Fork Valleys. Visit us at our new location in Eagle Ranch, 717 Sylvan Lake Road, next door to Color Coffee Roasters.
Do you love the outdoor lifestyle? Make sure you tune in every day at 7 p.m. to catch Scoreboard Nation. It's an outdoor lifestyle show dedicated to your 3 favorite mountain towns, Vail, Beaver Creek, Park City, and Reno, Tahoe. Join us for an incredible venture. Find us on TV8 Vail, Park City Television, or at thescoreboardnation.com. We can't wait to see you there.
When people think of world-class destinations, they're drawn to a place that provides opportunities for fine dining, shopping, superior lodging, exciting events, and unparalleled outdoor activities. Park City, Utah, and Vail, Colorado are renowned destinations for travelers and extraordinary homes for residents. Feature your exceptional products and services in these two luxury communities. Advertise with Park City Television and TV8 Vail. Contact us today.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back, everyone. We've got tons of exciting things happening here at TV8, and one of them is our new show called Vail Vibes, hosted by Avisha Scarborough. Earlier this week, Gretchen had the opportunity to talk with her and find out all the details about this new and exciting show. Let's take a look.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail Wellness Wednesday, and I am very, very excited. I know I say that a lot, but this one, very excited about this interview with my very own, with Good Morning Vail's very own, Avisha Scarborough, and she has the new segment called Vail Vibes here on Good Morning Vail. How are you doing, Avisha?
I am doing wonderful. It's my first time sitting on this end of the couch.
I am so excited that I get to be the one to sit with you.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here with you as well.
Avisha, you are awesome. I know so much, and I feel so excited that I get to interview you. But you have such an amazing story, a background. You are all things TV. You have been around the world and around the United States. I know you've been in Hawaii, LA, doing TV. Did you do New York as well, a little bit?
No, but I have traveled internationally as a journalist to cover different stories. You know, when Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico, I was there. I've been to London reporting, Paris Fashion Week. Recently, I did a travel segment in Japan. So I feel so lucky to do what I do. I love telling stories.
I love that you do that, and I love everything about you because, of course, girl has style. You always look amazing, but you're beautiful from the inside out, and you have such a presence about you. And this new segment, I'm really vibing with it. Do you like that little cheesy?
I love it.
Vail vibes.
You feel the vibes?
I actually am feeling the vibes, and I know it's already getting such a cool kind of energy. People are being drawn to it. So far, you've done a lot in a very little amount of time that you've been here. What has been your, I can't say favorite, but what is one thing that sticks out in your mind as far as who you've interviewed, where you've been, and how do you love Vail? Answer all the questions.
Yes. Okay. So first of all, I'm so lucky and blessed to be here in Vail. It's so beautiful. I used to, look at Instagram photos of Switzerland and these places like in Europe, and the green mountains and hills. But really, when I'm here, I feel like I am in another country, like in another planet. It's so beautiful here. So, I can't say that I have a favorite, but I have explored a lot of Vail and surrounding areas, and it's just such an amazing place.
I love that you said that because this always makes me giggle. When I first moved out here and my mom and dad flew out to see this new land of Vail that I was gonna, because I'd always been a city girl. And my dad looked at me and he said, Gretchen, you live in Disney World in the mountains. And I thought that was the perfect, but it is very Switzerland, very European, and good people, like good Vail vibes.
Yeah,
good
like
vibes.
last night I stayed in Vail Village at a hotel, and I felt like I was transported to another place. You get these cute little European boutique hotels with the flowers in the windows and, the music. It's magical.
I love that. Well, we are so honored that you're here at our station now. And I'm going to brag about you for a little bit because you're so accomplished. You've done so much, but you're so humble. And I love that about you. And we've off camera talked a lot, and I think it's so inspiring about women inspiring other women. And I love that you want to see other people grow and be happy. And I think that's brilliant, and it's what makes a beautiful segment come together and a beautiful kind of synchronicity. Yeah.
Thank you so much. There are so many inspiring women, and I love to tell their stories.
Yeah.
Especially, getting out in the community, and I'm meeting people, I'm networking, and I can't wait to expand Vail Vibes because there are so many, not only inspiring women, but just people here. The Vail Vibe segment is going to be inspirational for sure, and I definitely believe in shining the spotlight on other women and uplifting people. Coming from a world of broadcast news,
right? Yeah.
The news wasn't always uplifting.
Yeah.
And I like to tell those stories that bring joy, that bring inspiration.
That's so exciting. So the Vail Vibes, the whole concept of this segment is really just to spread joy, to show what's happening in and around Vail.
Yeah.
And what are you kind of looking forward to the most? I know you love people,
Yes.
and I can tell genuinely you care about people. Is it just sharing the stories, seeing more of Vail, kind of a little bit of everything?
Well, yeah, I love uncovering those hidden stories where we're like, why don't we know about this? Why don't we know about you? So I know that there's plenty of those stories in the community.
Right.
And the more I get out and the more I meet people, the more I can uncover those and share that. Yeah, it's to share joy and inspiration, like you said.
Avisha, how did you start? Because I was interested in this. We hung out last night a little bit too and talked. And I forgot to ask you, how did you start getting into all of this, doing journalism and getting excited about interviewing people? And
Yeah, it's so funny. Since I was a small child, my parents were like, you can talk and you can argue.
Yes.
You either need to be a lawyer or you need to be that lady. And they pointed to this lady on CNN. And ever since then, I was like, yeah, I think that's going to be me. So I went to school for broadcast journalism. I studied at the University of Southern California.
Okay.
And I've been working in stations ever since. So I have, a decade plus of experience working in not only news and hard news and local news, but in also entertainment news and lifestyle.
I feel like you're so good at all of that, but I definitely see the entertainment and lifestyle. I feel like you will really shine with that.
Thank you.
And I don't know if you've noticed yet, but Vail has a lot of entertainment, a lot of activities going on. So you're gonna, girl, you need to take a big long nap and get ready for the rest of the summer.
I've seen it, and it's amazing. There's world-class artists coming in here all the time, all summer long.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I think sometimes the biggest thing living in Vail is you forget, well, not you. I've lived here for 10 years, and I make myself just have those moments every day where I'm like, I get to live here. That's pretty amazing.
Right.
Because I think anywhere you live, you have that time where you kind of, you get so caught up in the flow of work, etc. But they're so beautiful. It's hard to forget. Like driving even to work in the mountains, you're like, I live here. Pretty cool.
Yeah. So for those that are used to it and might, take it for granted, it's like, this is just where I live.
Right.
I like to look at it with fresh eyes and just
Yes.
uncover things that even the locals that have been here forever might not have seen or noticed, or just a fresh perspective on it.
Well, and I think that's brilliant, and you're so perfect for this segment just because of what you said. I've been here for 10 years, and there's locals that have been here for 30 plus, 40, 50. I haven't seen everything, and even things that you've already discovered and uncovered, I didn't know about. So that's pretty awesome. You're going to teach people that are new and people that, I'm not old. We're the same age, which I love. We have almost the same birthday.
Yep.
We're Libra sisters.
October 7th and October 11th. That is so cool.
7/11, and that was yesterday. Oh my goodness, I see that.
Yeah.
So as far as watching you and following you, where can everyone do so?
Well, we have our Instagram, Vail Vibes TV8.
Okay.
Yes. So, and then mine is just Avisha, just my name,
Avisha.
Avijah.
Awesome.
And yeah, just tune into the show.
It's gonna.
Yeah.
I love how you did the little "Good morning, Vail," like a little bit of yes, the Vanna White moment. Well, Avisha, I know I can speak for all of us. We are so grateful to have you. You are such an awesome addition, and keep it right here for more Good Morning Vail.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome to the TVA Viewers' Choice Awards, where we celebrate the videos that got the most views from viewers like you. I'm Max Turner. Let's see who's taking home the prizes for the month of May. Taking home the bronze is Good Morning Vail's May 4th edition, featuring important updates from the scoreboard and the town of Avon. The silver award goes to Good Morning Vail on May 18th, featuring recruiter guy Bill Humbert. The gold goes to May 22nd edition of Good Morning Vail, featuring the best of CC Zach and Glitz and Glam. The platinum award goes to Good Morning Vail's featuring Ride Your Bike to School Day with Mark Sassy on location. And clinching the #1 spot and taking home the diamond award is Good Morning Vail's May 2nd edition, featuring Claire Noble in the Eagle Valley Animal Shelter. If you missed any of these trending videos, make sure to migrate over to our YouTube page and check out the playlist for the winners of the month of May. I'm Max Turner, and I'll see you next time.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back, everyone. As you all know, we have such an exciting partnership here in TV8 with Covered Bridge magazine. And earlier this week, we had the opportunity to cover one of their articles by speaking with the author of this exciting story. Let's go take a look.
Hi everyone, welcome to Covered Bridge on TV8. My name is Kim Fuller. I am the co-owner of Jaunt Media Collective in West Vail and the editor-in-chief of Covered Bridge magazine.
And I'm Bobby LaRue, the other co-owner and the director of partnerships at Covered Bridge magazine. We have the pleasure today of sitting down with Jennifer Weintraub, a longtime local here at the Vail Valley. She's a fantastic creative who does a lot of contributing to Covered Bridge magazine. So we're excited to have Jen on the couch today here at Covered Bridge on TV8. Welcome, Jen.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So I just mentioned you're a longtime local in the Valley. How long have you actually been in the Vail Valley? Or
Well,
Eagle River Valley?
Yeah, I've been here for almost 15 years.
Amazing.
I came here, like many people, just for a winter, and I don't know, I found a husband, I found a job, we found a home, and this is, we love it, and this is where we raise our family. I have 2 kids who are 3 months and 2.5.
And Jennifer does a lot of contributing to Covered Bridge. You've done photography. You were our cover photographer last summer, a beautiful mountain bike shot on the Grand Traverse.
Yes.
And you do style for us, which, you know, she's a great consultant for that, obviously. And the article that we're focusing on today is about mountain mamas and tips for postpartum specifically. So for the summer-fall issue, the title of the magazine, Tips for Mountain Mamas, the truth behind postpartum recovery. And Jennifer was sharing with me earlier that the article was a struggle for you. And tell me a little bit about that.
So I originally pitched you the article, I was probably 2 weeks postpartum, and I wanted to still be in the magazine, so I wanted to send you something, and anything I wrote, it didn't sit right. And part of that was, I was writing this when I had a newborn, 1 or 2 months old, and I'm working during naps and nights, which are these tiny little windows of like 1 hour to 1.5 hours. You're not on a ton of sleep. Our sleep is pretty good, but you're just not yourself. you're not focused, and then you have this little window and you're like, okay, sit down, be creative, right, go. And like, things just don't, you just can't turn on like that. And I think that was why I struggled through this, is getting a clear mind without any distraction of all the other million things you have to do that are running through your mind. And also because I was in it, you know, writing this about postpartum recovery, like I hadn't even recovered yet because I was so fresh and in it. But I knew, this being my second pregnancy, I had learned so much from the first one. I had a better plan of what I was going to do with this pregnancy. So I did have a better idea, and I've been working with physical therapy, pelvic floor specialists, and so I knew a lot more going into this one. But it was really tough.
Yeah, well, this quote, and I'm going to read this just to set the tone for, I think this poured out of you in the sense of like, this is what I was going through with the article, but also in the moment, in the sense it's not exactly what, the expectations can be different than what you maybe have thought, especially, you know, you had already had one baby and then you had another, and so different experiences. So Jennifer writes, within 6 months of giving birth, I thought I would feel like myself again, but I was far from healed. Many women, especially those who were active before and during pregnancy, expect to bounce back quickly. I was surprised at how long my body didn't feel like my own. Recovery from pregnancy takes longer than most would expect, even for the fittest of athletes. Stephanie Drew, a certified women's health specialist at Howard Head Sports Medicine, says it's normal for it to take up to 2 years to feel fully recovered.
Yeah, that was a big surprise for me. So I started working with Stephanie Drew. She's a physical therapist at Howard Head Sports Medicine who specializes in women's health and pelvic floor. And during my second pregnancy, I had so much pain in my lower back and shooting down my leg that I could barely walk. Eventually it went away. I think it was just how the baby was sitting, but I started going to her to see what we could do. And in going to her for that, I started asking all these other questions about, okay, well, we're not really solving anything right now, so I just have to let it go and embrace this is where I am and do what I can, which is walk when I could. And then we started just talking about, what do I need to do for postpartum? And, you know, my first pregnancy, they said at 6 weeks, you're cleared. I'm like, okay, great, I can start running. And I told her that, and she was like, no. Not that you can't, but running is such a high impact sport on your pelvic floor, which is stretched so much during pregnancy, and your core, which is stretched. And so now you have no stability, and your core, that's the stability for all movement that you do. And so you can start exercising right after pregnancy, but not those high impact sports. And I had no idea. So I actually followed her directions this time and waited the full 12 weeks to start running. But that was when she said it takes 2 years, it can take up to 2 years. I was really surprised when you think about it. And women, you know, your body's being stretched, your hormones are crazy, and it just, there's a lot of things going on in your body. And if you have knee surgery, yes, you can ski the next year, but you don't have that full strength in your knee. You're not skiing to the same level of aggressiveness that you were before surgery. Probably your second season, you're back skiing as aggressively as you were before. And I just didn't think about that with pregnancy. You just expect, okay, 6 weeks, you should start healing again, but it takes that long for everything to recover. And not only that, for you to build your strength back up. So a few things I found interesting when I was talking to them were, you know, one of them is your body heals and recovers when you're sleeping. And new mamas aren't sleeping very much. So it takes a lot longer to recover. So I've noticed this time, sometimes I feel great and I run, and maybe I'll do it 1 or 2 days in a row, and then I'm exhausted. And so you have this level of exhaustion that you don't have when you're totally okay. And it just takes a lot longer for your body to recover because of sleep, because if you're breastfeeding, you're still sharing those nutrients with your baby. So it's not, your body still isn't your own. And I was surprised to hear how long it takes to actually regain your endurance, your strength, and your fitness.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting to hear that from my side of things, right? It's like we just get to kind of observe, and obviously you see the body change and you see the body react, but to understand that from an athletic standpoint, you being a pretty big mountain athlete, you're out there on your bike, you're out there hiking, you're out there doing all these things, and what has also helped, you mentioned physical, but is there some stuff you're doing for the mind to just remind yourself, or some mantras or things that you have to get you through those tough times of when you might want to go running, but the body is not reacting the way you want it to?
So I've really tried to embrace doing what I can and just having grace and patience through the process. And some days it's easier than others. Obviously, it depends how much sleep I get, how much coffee I've had, but it's doing what I can. So when I don't feel great, just getting outside, I'm going to go for a walk and wear the baby. And, just getting some fresh air is great. Finding the support of moms groups is great, and just taking care of yourself. But I think it's just trying to embrace okay, I can't run, but I can walk. I can't do this, but I can do this. And so trying to have just patience in the process, because it takes a lot longer than you think. And just like you're recovering from an injury, if you had knee surgery or shoulder surgery or any other surgery, you would give yourself that patience. You'd be going to physical therapy, you'd be taking care of yourself, and you'd have that time to recover, and it would take about 2 years to have that strength and that muscle mass back.
Well, you speak to that. I mean, it's pretty amazing, that side of things. But I've noticed from your social media, I've noticed from keeping an eye on what you and your family is up to, is you really haven't seemed to skip a beat. I mean, you're still out there adventuring. I see camping. I think I saw international travel already.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty exceptional. Can you offer any advice to some moms out there to
Yeah.
My life isn't over.
No.
What is that?
So we've changed our expectations. So we did go to Mexico with a 3-month-old and a 2.5-year-old. And I think the hardest part was getting a passport photo for a 5-week-old, because you have to have them sit still, and that's just not possible. So, but our expectations were just, we're going to eat good food, we're going to have some drinks, we're going to relax, we're going to go to the beach, we're going to go to the pool. And we didn't have these big expectations. Yes, we miss our big trips where we're used to hike all day and bike all day and take motorbikes through Indonesia to these waterfalls and all these crazy adventures, and we're not there right now. And so it's okay, we're trying to focus on the things we can do. So camping, Fruta is a great spot for kids because we can take loops and do that through the campground, and finding other friends who are in the same boat as us, because then we can do girls go for a ride, guys go for a ride, and trading off. So it's, I see other people's adventures, and it's hard. I'm man, I really miss that, and I miss doing that. And we're it's just for now. They're little, and it's just for now. So it's what can we do? But in that, we've also found other destinations and other things to do. So where's a spot that we can go hiking, and we found, we find different things where, other than we're going to go to our same places that we always go, Moab and Crested Butte and all these places. And we haven't been to Moab in years because they're all big rides and they're spread out. So we miss it, but what can we do? And so I think trying to shift that focus, and it's not always easy, but it's more important to get out and do something than to stay at home and do nothing. And you're not always going to have everything right. When we went camping, I packed the wrong clothes, and I forgot this, and I didn't do that. And it's a learning experience. And so I didn't get it right, but I'm okay, so next time I want to bring these pants or this toy for them or whatever it is, but you only learn by doing. And unfortunately, sometimes failure, you learn the best. You just, you have to get through it, but I think the fear of holding back is worse than staying at home and having that regret.
Yeah, I think we'll have to potentially have a follow-up piece that's adventuring with kids, right?
Yeah.
We'll continue to have Jennifer contribute to Covered Bridge in ways that are so interesting to readers, and this has been very interesting for all of the viewers, and definitely a worthwhile conversation, and more to come. So congratulations on baby number 2 and continuing to get out there with your family. And thank you so much for contributing to this issue. Definitely pick it up, summer and fall, the Journey issue of Covered Bridge magazine. And this has been Covered Bridge on TV8. We'll see you next time.
Good morning, Vail.
It's that time where we're talking Sun and Ski Sports Product of the Week. Now, if you're making your way out to do any water activities, it's important that you have the right protection with you, and especially since our water levels are so high from all of that precipitation that we saw over the course of the winter and now that snow runoff. So right now, I've got the Onyx Move Vent Life Vest in front of me. This vest has some great features to it, one of which being soft, lightweight foam flotation. Now, if you are looking for this in your kayaks or in your canoes and you want that nice mesh back, well, then it has that feature, making it more comfortable for you to sit anywhere where there's a high back and you need to be nice and safe out there. Now, as you're making your way out into the water, there is a built-in whistle so that if you need to be heard, you can make yourself heard with this lovely whistle. There's also some nice reflection pieces, making it easy for you to be seen as you're out there, and especially if you're doing it first thing in the morning or later into the afternoon when you're out there on the rivers or on the lakes. So make sure that you stop by Sun and Ski Sports and you check out all of their great inventory for these nice pieces that are going to keep you safe out there on the waters. Now, you can always go to their website at sunandski.com for some more information or for some more fabulous products that'll keep you safe out there on the water.
Nap Harvest, your local marketplace for fresh, locally produced products. Our indoor farmers market is open 7 days a week, featuring locally grown organic produce, prepared meals, honey from our Nap Nectar hive, furniture, cutting boards, and much more. We source and sell locally grown and produced products from the Vail and Roaring Fork Valleys. Visit us at our new location in Eagle Ranch, 717 Sylvan Lake Road, next door to Color Coffee Roasters.
Eyepieces of Vail has been a fixture in the Vail community for over 30 years. From designer frames and sunglasses to high-performance sports frames, prescription goggles, and in-demand accessories like helmets, goggle lenses, and foldable reading glasses, our inventory raises the optical bar. Visit one of our 7 locations today and see why generations of loyal customers return time after time for our unmatched service and inventory. Eyepieces, the art of vision.
Time to rise and shine? There's no better way to start your day off than with the Good Morning Vail crew. You asked for more and TV8 delivered. Good Morning Vail is here for you with your local news, sports, weather, and community events every morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. No matter the season, we give you a reason to watch, so grab your coffee and join the fun. Live stream us at tv8vail.com or on Comcast Xfinity Channel 92. And remember, there's more for you on 92.
Good morning, Vail.
This weather report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
My temperature rising.
Hi friends, welcome to Gerald R. Ford Amphitheater, also known as the AMP, a place that is home to some amazing musical acts all summer long. And what better place to watch live music than this outdoor venue? It wouldn't be summer in Vail without the AMP, an open-air venue surrounded by the Rocky Mountains. It manages to be both majestic and intimate. From humble beginnings to being the center of Vail arts and culture, the AMP has had a rich history, including several remodels since it opened in 1987. In fact, according to the AMP's Facebook page, in the early 80s, many locals had a hard time understanding why a ski town needed a summertime venue. And with endless construction, many people even wondered if it would ever be completed. But thanks to the perseverance of the Vail Valley Foundation and the Ford family, the venue was finally built in 1987 and held its first major performance headlined by Willie Nelson. The AMP continued to draw in big acts and loyal fans. One of those fans was Morgan Russell. He frequented the free Hot Summer Nights concerts that have been going on since the late 80s. And when he realized he can turn his love of live music into a career, well, it was a dream come true for him.
I've been working here for 3 years, and it's my absolute favorite place in the world. I've never loved a job like I love this one.
Being exposed to such a wide variety of entertainment, he says his taste in music has expanded over the years.
I love learning about stuff that I'm not familiar with. We had Maren Morris, who's this big pop country singer, and the crowd was fantastic, amazing. We had Lindsey Sterling, who does this electric violin performance that's choreographed, and it's got this big dance component.
It's a fixed capacity venue with an ability to squeeze in around 3,000 people in total, including the lawn and pavilion combined. But if a show sells out, which it often does, there's an attractive alternative.
One of the wonderful things about this place is it's adjacent to a public park. So when it sells out, people just go to the park or the lovely gardens next door or the creek next door. There's a lot of places to enjoy the music if you're not in the venue.
And speaking of the gardens next door, they were named the Betty Ford Alpine Gardens in 1988. Betty was, of course, the wife of former President Gerald R. Ford, the AMP's namesake. And the garden is known as the highest botanical garden in the world. With the garden, the creek, the park, the mountains, you have a natural environment that's hard to compete with.
For me, that's what makes it so special, and I would much rather enjoy that music in an outdoor setting like this than in a concert hall.
And many of the acts feel similarly.
They're blown away, and consistently people come to the venue for the first time and their jaws literally drop. They look around and say, how have we never been here before? Can we come back?
There's so much to look forward to at the AMP all summer long, including Bravo Vail, the free Hot Summer Nights concerts, Vail Dance Festival, and several national touring acts.
Thievery Corporation on July 15th that we're really excited about, followed by Old Crow Medicine Show the next day, and then Camp on the 17th. So, 3 big shows back to back to back.
Remember to bring a picnic, a rain poncho just in case, and for transportation, well, here's a suggestion.
Ride your bike. That's the best way to get here from pretty much anywhere in Vail. To ride your bike along the creek to arrive here, it just connects the whole thing. You ride past the Alpine Gardens and you get to enjoy the flowers and the nature.
A bike ride, a picnic, some live music. Sounds like a plan. Be sure to check out grfavail.com for more upcoming events. For TV8 in Vail, I'm Avisha Scarborough.
Hi there, I'm Cece Zach with Good Day Vail, and recently I had a chance to sit down with 2 passionate Valley residents who have been here for a long time, who can really help us understand the different activities that we may not know much about. So please stick tuned to the Good Day Vail to learn about all ways to do outdoor activities and learn about what you didn't know about the Vail Valley so that you can live your best life here.
Bienvenidos a lo mejor de la semana, yo soy Julio García y te estaré compartiendo los mejores eventos y actividades para disfrutar en familia todo el verano. Comenzamos este lunes 10 de julio de una manera súper relajante, ya que Luz Violeta nos está ofreciendo clases gratuitas de meditación en español en la biblioteca de Higo de 7 a 7:45 de la tarde. Este martes 11 de julio, el Colorado Snow Sports Museum está ofreciendo un tour sobre la historia de Vail a partir de las 11 de la mañana. Es en inglés, pero aún puede ser una manera divertida de aprender un poquito más sobre la historia de Vail, con un costo de $10 por persona, pero los niños entran gratis. Este miércoles 12 de julio, Chasing Rabbits nos estará presentando la película Top Gun Maverick al aire libre en la Plaza del Solaris a partir de las 8 de la noche, con un costo de $10 para rentar tus audífonos y disfrutar de esta increíble película. Y regresamos a las meditaciones este jueves, pero esta vez en la biblioteca de Avon, igual de 7 a 7:45 de la tarde. Y si prefieres la meditación en inglés, pues Luz Violeta también ofrece clases de meditación en inglés los mismos días, en los mismos lugares, pero a las 6 de la tarde, un poquito más temprano para aquellos que prefieran disfrutar de una meditación en inglés. Este viernes 14 de julio, otra película al aire libre aquí en el lago Nottingham de Avon. A partir de las 8:15 de la noche se estará mostrando la película The Parent Trap, completamente gratis. Traigan sus cobijas, sillas, snacks y que no falten las palomitas para disfrutar de un increíble atardecer y de una película en familia. Y de jueves a sábado se estarán llevando a cabo los Gypsum Days en Gypsum, donde habrá actividades para toda la familia. Específicamente el sábado 15 de julio arrancan las actividades desde las 7 de la mañana hasta las 10 de la noche. Habrá show de autos, desfile, vendedores, comida, área de juegos y un concierto, así que no te puedes perder de este grandioso evento en Gypsum. Y para concluir la semana, este domingo 16 de julio, el Festival de Vail Jazz nos ofrecerá un concierto gratuito en la Plaza del Solaris en Vail de 5 a 7 de la tarde, donde se presentará Gabriel Santiago, un guitarrista brasileño con ritmos increíbles y música espectacular. Y bueno, familia, ahí lo tienen. No se pierdan de todas las increíbles actividades que están sucediendo a lo largo y ancho de nuestro valle. Todos los días hay algo que hacer y como siempre yo los veré aquí en la próxima edición. Yo soy Julio García y esto fue lo mejor de la semana.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. One of the things we love doing here at TV8 is helping you stay informed. And earlier this week, Kimberly Perot had the opportunity to speak with attorney Sarah Goldberg with tons of useful information. Let's take a look.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. Now we have some special guests joining us in studio and very interesting subject matter, especially as we head into the height of our summer season and heading into the winter. Joining me on the couch today is Sarah Goldberg, founder and immigration attorney of Goldberg Law. Sarah, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here this morning.
Yeah, it's so exciting. I think what you do is so interesting and very helpful to so many people here in our community. So tell me a little bit about Goldberg Law. How did you start?
Yes. So I'm a product of the immigration story. My father is an immigration attorney in Houston, Texas, and then my mom is an immigrant. So on her side, I'm a first generation born American. And so I've had such a passion about learning about people from different cultures and communities. And I also have a passion of learning different languages. I know 3 languages.
Wow.
And I've just always been interested in that area and trying to help people make a better life for themselves in this amazing country that we have.
That's incredible. So you started in Houston and then you came here to the Vail Valley. So tell us a little bit about how your journey. You've been in business for about a year now and you probably get all kinds of questions from employers or people just wanting to understand the process better.
Yes, I have a number of employers who will call me and they'll say, I really love this employee. I'd like to help him or her. And I don't really know where to start on that. Or I'll be told, this person has been here for decades. Can't we do something for them so that they can get the paperwork that they need to have a better life for themselves? And so I field lots of questions from employers about that because they're interested in the livelihood of their employees to make their lives better here. And by helping their employees, it also helps their business.
Absolutely, and you know, it is so important because tourism is a huge part of the local economy here, and we have wonderful immigrant workers that help us, you know, keep things running, and you can just see it, especially in the quiet times, just to see the local community, and it's such a cool thing to see all of the different flavors that are here. So if you were to give advice, how do people start? You know, if they're looking to you as an immigrant or as an employer, what would you typically do to start the process?
Sure. Well, for an employer, sometimes the employer will say, I'm a U.S. worker, I'm a U.S. citizen, I have my own business, this person has been with me for 20 years, I'd like to help him get a green card, get permanent residence. And so I will then start asking the employer certain questions about the immigrant. Sometimes that employer knows the answer, sometimes the employer doesn't, because they don't want to get so deep into that personal level with the employee. So at that point, then I'll just say, let's have a consultation either with the employer and the employee, or with the employee on their own, so that that employee can feel comfortable enough to communicate with me about where did that person come from? How did they get here? What year did they come? Did they come with a visa or not? And these are really important questions to try to field and navigate to assist that person in getting the proper paperwork they need to lawfully live and work here.
Amazing. And you know, it's probably not one story is the same. So you probably are navigating all kinds of situations and really thinking on your feet every single day.
Oh, that's for sure. I think that we're very blessed if you're born in the United States and you have that U.S. passport. Many times we don't even think about traveling to a different country. We can just go without even applying for a visa in order to enter. But especially folks from Latino countries or from many countries around the world, they can't just access the United States with their own passport. They need to apply for a visa, which is very difficult to obtain, which is why many folks end up just crossing the border without a visa and start making roots here.
Absolutely.
And so then that ends up being challenging for them to live here lawfully. So it's definitely very interesting because people come here with all sorts of stories and backgrounds, and whether it's traveling by foot from foreign countries into the United States, and they bring all sorts of life situations that I can't even imagine occur to them, but they have this drive to want to make a better life for themselves here and to work and improve the community in which they're at.
Absolutely, and making a better life for themselves and their families. Now, children that are born in the U.S. don't necessarily guarantee citizenship. So tell me a little bit more about that, and it does not provide any immunity as well.
That's correct. So the term is called anchor baby, meaning that sometimes individuals think that when they have a U.S. citizen child born here, which is again an amazing gift that America provides, because people who are born in other countries, sometimes they don't get the citizenship of that country. For example, I had a client who is Syrian, but he was born in the UAE. Well, he's never been to Syria, but because his parents were Syrian and he was born in the UAE, he still only has a Syrian passport, although he's never been there.
Wow.
While as Americans, if you are born in the United States on U.S. soil, you are a U.S. citizen. And sometimes individuals think that as an anchor baby, an individual, once you have a child here, that means you are guaranteed to be able to remain here. Unfortunately, that is not the case. And a lot of my clients, they like to make lots of babies. And unfortunately, that doesn't guarantee that individual to stay here. So it's very important, especially when you have a family, to try to figure out how can I stay here legally and keep my roots here. Because I know I've got now 5 kids.
Wow.
And as a mother of children, I always think it's important, how do I keep my family together? And that's always a goal of mine with clients, is I tell them, how can we keep you together with your family? Because I try to, I guess, do things a little more conservatively, because I don't want to put people at risk of breaking families apart.
Absolutely.
I'm always worried about that.
Yeah, and that's so impressive, first of all. I love that you have that many children and you're able to really pour into the family values in your work as well. So out of curiosity, how many of your cases are employers? How many are families? Do you have an equal mix of both? Tell me a little bit more.
Yes, because I'm a solo practitioner, as in I'm working just with myself, I do have staff that help me. I would say that the business is an ebb and flow in terms of I'll start to get a lot of deportation clients, then I'll have employer cases, and then I'll have family. So it's really a mix of what I do, but I only do immigration, because I tell folks, immigration is so complicated. Y'all hear about it in the news. And there's only, it changes constantly. And because it's federal law, a lot of it has to do with what does the president, how does he want to direct immigration today? And I'm sure y'all hear about it in the news of, oh, there's all these folks coming across the border. How do we handle this? And that continues to change because it's just a human reality, right? We can't control that. And especially during, I think, the warmer months, more folks end up coming because maybe it's a bit of a safer journey. I haven't had to do that trek, thank God, but yes, that's how it goes. So I do handle all sorts of different kinds, but it's only immigration. So on employment base, that could be whether an employer is sponsoring an employee, whether an individual is trying to start a business here, how can they do that? And on the family side, if a child is a U.S. citizen and 21 years old, that's the time when they can sponsor their parents. And actually, that's when a lot of folks end up starting to contact me. My kid is 20, is about to be 21. How can they help me?
Oh, wow, that's great. That's actually really a cool option to know that your parents raised you and then you're able to kind of help support and give them a better life as well.
Oh, yes, I love it. And I mean, I think that's such a value that I really hold dearly. I always tell my kids, like, look, we have to help each other. And because it doesn't stop when a kid turns 21. Now it's maybe their turn to help their parents in some small way. It doesn't have to be a lot to get to that point. But it can make such a huge difference in someone's life.
Sure. Now, you mentioned it seems to be you have more immigrants coming in the warmer months. Do you see things differently locally here in the Vail Valley? Because, you know, we have such harsh winters, which we love. They're not harsh, but, you know, it is much colder. And so tell me a little more about that.
Sure. Well, one thing I've noticed is that a lot of folks come here during the winter, especially with sponsored visas, such as the J1 visa or the H2B visa. And sometimes when an immigrant ends up coming to the US, they like it and they want to stay. And then that's the point when then they're trying to navigate on how can I stay here? What are options for me? Whether that's changing their visa status to something like a tourist or a student visa, but there might be other options available to them that they never knew about. So I'm always telling people, please, just get that consultation with an experienced immigration attorney who knows what they're doing, so at least you have that knowledge to know how to move forward with your life.
Wonderful. Now, Sarah, tell us where we can go to find your practice and information if people want to schedule a consultation with you.
Sure. So I'm located at 82 East Beaver Creek Boulevard, number 200 in Avon, Colorado, down the street from here.
Awesome.
You can walk. And my website is www.lawgoldberg.com, LAWGOLDBERG.com. And what's really, I don't know, one thing that I try to offer to folks is that you get to speak to me, the attorney. It's not always like that, unfortunately.
So true. Oh, you are so approachable and so friendly and welcoming, and I'm sure your clients love you. And hopefully we can help generate and really make people's lives better. So thank you for all the work that you do. We appreciate having you here on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Sarah, you are wonderful. So stay tuned. We have a lot more here on the second half of our show. So we'll be right back after this break.
Good morning, Vail.
If you haven't seen Good Day Vail lately, here's what you've been missing. I'm Cece Zach, and I'm the host of Good Day Vail, and you can find us on Comcast Xfinity Channel 92 or on our website at tva8vail.com and on YouTube. We're here to serve the Vail Valley, and we look forward to sharing our story with all of you.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
Nap Harvest, your local marketplace for fresh, locally produced products. Our indoor farmers market is open 7 days a week, featuring locally grown organic produce, prepared meals, honey from our Nap Nectar hive, furniture, cutting boards, and much more. We source and sell locally grown and produced products from the Vail and Roaring Fork Valleys. Visit us at our new location in Eagle Ranch, 717 Sylvan Lake Road, next door to Color Coffee Roasters.
Good morning, Vail.
Hi friends, Avisha Scarborough here. Welcome to Vail Vibes. We are right in the heart of Vail Village, and I'm about to take you hat shopping at one of Colorado's most iconic stores.
There's something about the cowboy hat, a symbol of classic Americana that never goes out of style. And if you're looking for the real deal, Angelica Hastings says come to Kimosabi.
We sell Stetsons and our own Kimosabi hats, and they're all made the old-fashioned way. There isn't a better way of doing them. Even the machines that make them are from the early 1900s. So they're very true to the original cowboy hats and very authentic.
She says putting on a cowboy hat immediately boosts your confidence.
You have a little bit of swagger with a hat on, and people look at you different, and they're like, ooh, who is that cool girl? So hats are fun.
And part of the fun is the experience of shopping itself. She says that all Kimosabi employees go through extensive training on all things hats in order to provide the best service to customers.
It's very exciting for them to come here and get their hat, and we like to focus on them.
And since I'm shopping for a new cowboy hat, she gave me a taste of what Kimosabi customer service is all about, starting with sizing, followed by trying on hats and more hats. And once you find the right one, it's time for the best part, personalizing your hat with hat bands, feathers, charms, jewels, and even miniature knives. This is Leah Bilski. She got her first custom hat when she started working at Kimosabi almost 2 years ago.
You have a hat on and you can basically do anything.
And hats aren't the only thing they sell. There's boots, bags, belts.
Today I'm wearing these.
And of course,
These
lots
are
of jewelry.
Of mine. Now this you need to see right side up.
This is Nancy Rose, owner of The Good Stuff. She says a Kimosabi hat is the perfect accessory to go with her jewelry.
I like the word edgy because my jewelry is a little edgy too. And it sort of works with my turquoise jewelry.
And if you want to turn your shopping experience into more of a party, you can do that here in Kimosabi's VIP room.
This room is reserved for their super VIP customers, but almost anyone can rent it out for a special occasion.
A lot of bachelorette parties, for sure. Really anything. We've even had a baby shower here. Yeah.
And about as much attention to detail that goes into their hats went into decorating this room.
This is our bar. We found it in Pennsylvania. It's an old saloon bar from the turn of the century. So it's the real deal.
Whether you're shopping or just browsing, Angelica says come on by the store for a fun experience. And like the founder Tom Yoder likes to say, anyone can be a cowboy, even just for a day. For TV8 in Vail, I'm Avisha Scarborough.
And just like that, we've reached the end of Saturday's edition of Good Morning Vail. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Gretchen will be back tomorrow, Sunday at 7 a.m. with more tons of great information here on Good Morning Vail. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see.